From the heart of Tameside. Music from the 50s to now. This is Tameside Radio.
I'm joined in the studio by someone that only usually pops in once a month. It's Jason Bromley, Tameside Alderman Glossop Mine. Sir, a very warm welcome.
Good to see you as always, Scott.
Now, what do I owe this pleasure? I mean, because you've come down here and you brought a rather special guest with you.
Yeah, this is timely as well because, I'll let James kind of properly introduce himself in a minute, but the Tameside Reporter were wonderful, and it's a fantastic story in terms of his mental health journey. Like I said, I'll let him go into it in a lot more detail, but from my perspective, and working for Tameside Alderman Glossop Mind, we're really wanting to encourage people to share their mental health stories, because number one, for a lot of people, it actually is a relief and makes them feel better, but number two, it helps to remove some of the stigma around discussing mental health issues and everything. So James has been brilliant in sharing his story, and collectively between the two of us, and yourself of course, we're encouraging other people to share their mental health stories if they feel up to it, if they feel strong enough and able to, because it will hopefully help them, but it will also really potentially help a lot of others as well.
And James joins us now. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, absolute pleasure. I mean, you were supposed to join us last week, but you've been down with the flu recently.
Very poorly, yeah, very poor. Like I was saying, not been that poorly since I was a kid, so with the old washing up bowl. So no, yeah, I'm a lot better now, thanks.
Feeling better, yeah? Feeling strong.
A lot better, yeah.
So it's fair to say that over the last couple of months or so, you've been on quite the journey.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain to us where it started for you?
Yeah, so I mean, it all began really, I suppose, 10 years ago when I was involved in a real bad near fatal car accident. I was a front seat passenger, and I sustained a lot of injuries. I had head injuries, leg injuries, jaws, all sorts of things. And what I did was I cracked on as what you do at 18 years old, and I was in hospital for quite some time. I came out, and what I found was I started struggling with nightmares, and I found that really, really difficult to process some of the thoughts and the nightmares that I was having because it was so unusual. Yeah. And
so I mean, how does something like that affect you? I mean, you're 18 years old. You're in the prime of your life, and then something that serious happens to you. I mean, what were the after effects of something that serious?
Well, I mean, all the physical effects really affected me the most. Not being able to walk properly and talk and things like that. I really had to get my head around that. The partner I was with at the time, she'd left and couldn't deal with it, and it was tough. It was a really hard time. Yeah. And then secretly it started slipping in subliminally to me with all these sorts of after effects, which we now know is called something called post-traumatic stress disorder, and PTSD as it's commonly known. But at the time, I was totally unaware of what was going on internally with myself.
It was just a case of trying to crack on and just move forward with your life.
Yeah. I mean, I was a guy that went to the gym quite a lot. I did bodybuilding and stuff, so weakness was not... it seemed very weak to talk about my feelings and the pain that I was going through on the nightly basis. So, and living on a shoestring of sleep, it affects your mental health, So gradually it eroded me down as a person. I turned to drink and stuff because it was an easy way to cope, because I didn't know what was going on. Yeah,
because it's quite easy, isn't it? Once you're on that spiral of self-destruction, and you kind of go from one vice to the next, always looking for an answer. I mean, when did it start to turn around for you?
It turned around after quite a number of years, unfortunately, in my case. It got flagged up via the doctor because of my age, going out getting drunk quite often and doing all those sorts of things and abusing stuff really fell under the radar for me. It wasn't something that was commonly known, so it was just a given. You go out, you get drunk, Yeah. Anyway, I went to the doctors, and they said things were adding up, basically, and I went and saw somebody about it, a psychologist who recommended that I had quite a few sessions, counselling and things, and CBT. And I started my journey, I suppose, 6 years in, post the accident, properly. And that's when I became very I started to make sense of things, and I guess.
Yeah, and started to look for other things, to bring positivity to your life.
Yeah, definitely. And for a long time, it did work that, and I was able to meet the partner that I'm due to marry in April.
Congratulations.
Louise, thanks very much. Yeah, and we've got a beautiful little boy together called Alfie, and we got a house together, and my life just got back on track.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, on the way home from work about 6 months ago, I witnessed a car accident in front of me as I was driving home. And that was fine. I've seen car accidents. I got out. I went to help. But something internally didn't work again. And it was trying to put the old, square peg in a round hole thing. And it just didn't work. And
so was it a case of kind of your memories of an experience like that coming back?
Yeah. So it was a reactivation and a relapse of post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
It's not something that ever goes away with you. You just learn to manage it. And I've spent probably 4 months in a very, very dark place, because this time I couldn't make sense of some things where a post could.
Well, I can't imagine it was something that you ever expected to feel again, considering how hard you'd worked to get past the first time, right?
Which you can imagine why I was so devastated with the fact of seeing that I'd really slipped back into something again, which I'd hated for so many years and thought that I'd got control of. Yeah. And now I had a lot more to lose than what I did at 18. I've got a partner, I've got a little boy, I've got a house, I've got a job, all those things.
Just running through your head. Yeah.
And suddenly the stakes became very, very high. So I've been trying to spin the plates and they were just falling around me. And
it's a strange feeling, isn't it? I mean, because that kind of vulnerability doesn't come around very often, and with the things that you've been through in your life, and then just that coming out of nowhere and hitting you like a brick wall. I mean, what did you do to kind of keep yourself in a positive frame of mind? Because I imagine that's where the music came into it, right?
Yeah. So obviously I got to the point where I was in a very, very dark place where I thought bringing happiness to my family meant removing myself from the world, to put it that way. Yeah. And that's, I think, where I hit my lowest. And it just came about one day that basically my son Alfie was just sat there with us, and he just said, "Daddy, I want to play a ukulele." And I was like, "Why the hell do you want to play a ukulele?"
Why not?
Well, yeah, sure. But I was like, I don't know where he's got that from. I was like, "Lou, have you told him?" She said, "No, this is news to me." And he just said, "I want to learn how to play something." Now, I've always loved music, and me and Alfie have always sang. I've always sang to Alfie since he was a baby. Yeah. And I thought, all right, let's sort it, son. We'll do something. I was at my dad's, and my dad said, "I've got a ukulele," because he was asking his granddad. And I said, "Why have you got one?" And he said, "Oh, I've just got one knocking about."
I think that's where he picked up the idea.
Yeah, probably stitched me up. It would be my dad all over this. But anyway, my dad had one, and what I found was I was playing it with Alfie, and I just got so much enjoyment out of it and so much joy. I mean, I don't come from a musical sort of background or anything, so for me this was something completely new, sensory-wise and therapeutic-wise, because everything that I tried didn't seem to work, but this just came out of the blue, and it worked so well because it took me away from the misery and the tornado that I was in. Yeah. I felt free now. So you ended up recording a Neil Young classic, right? Yeah. What was the title? Hey My, it's called.
So why that song?
Do you know what? I don't know. It's not something that I've ever really sang or anything. It was just songs that I heard and I just liked it, and I just thought, I'm going to have a go at trying to play that.
So not really a big fan of Neil Young.
Oh, well, don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong. Hey, all credit to the guy. He's a wonderful person for doing loads of stuff. I've now heard lots of his other stuff, but that particular song, I just wanted to play, and I picked it up very quick. I did my own adaptation of it. And one day I was just feeling quite low, I suppose, and why I recorded it, I do not know, but I just did. And I was sat in my bathroom trying to get 5 minutes peace from Alfie and from everything. And I sat there with it for a couple of nights, that video, and I thought, maybe I should post this. And then everything in my mind said, do not post it. Yeah. Don't. It reaffirmed why I was feeling so bad. You're a rubbish person, you're a rubbish dad, you're this, you're that. Do not do it. And I don't know what it was, but something just said post. And I did do one day, and I just posted. I didn't tell anyone I was doing it, and my partner just looked at me after it came up on her Facebook, and she just said, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I recorded something the other night." And she said, "It's brilliant," you know. And for me, that was, I know she'll always stand by me. She always has done, and I can't tell you how much I love her and Alfie, you know, for what they've done. And for her to turn around and basically just say, "Look, I'm with you with this," I was like, that's all I needed, but I already knew you would be.
Yeah. But to hear it, though, hear that level of support,
yeah. You know, it's a frightening thing. You know, you're bearing all to a lot of people there, you know, and I wrote quite a lot about what I'd been going through and twinned it with the video. And then I set up a donation towards Mind, which obviously is the wonderful charity that Jason works for. And it just kind of spiraled from there, to be honest. You know, that's the power of Facebook for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I want to talk to you about this video because there was a story in last week's Glossop Chronicle in regards to your entire journey, and I think at that time the video had been viewed like 15,000 times. What are we at now?
I don't know. It's probably around that sort of level. I mean, that's a lot of people, you know. That's a lot of people that have watched my little video of me singing in my bathroom.
So how did it feel, like, you know, when you first saw those numbers and, you know, like you'd seen that many people had seen it?
Pretty worried, to be honest, at first, because I was like, oh no, you know, because this is something I've self-taught myself, you know, a couple of weeks prior. So, I mean, I took a big gamble with it. But not only that, of everything that I wrote alongside of it, you know, it really did bear all.
So did you get any feedback, or did anyone reach out to you in the wake of that?
Do you know, I couldn't have wished for better feedback. As soon as I knew it, like, there was loves, there was likes, there was comments, It was shares. It was just, my phone was going mental for like 2 days. It was just going off the hook. And everyone, I had people from all around the world contact me, and people I didn't know from Adam either, saying, "You have resonated with me, and I feel now that I can talk out about something that I'm struggling with." And I had people that I've known for years that I've even classed as friends that I didn't even realise that they'd been going through stuff and that they'd actually got a mental health condition. And it wasn't anything to be ashamed about. It was just that was good and we can talk about it now and it was okay. Stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling like you're a bad person and that you have to hide it, because you don't.
No.
You really don't. And yeah, the support had just been mega, and it has been mega ever since. You know, people, I think, you know, someone came to me and basically said, "My dad, I think, has been suffering for something for so long." And everyone's guilty of kind of, you know, dad's dad and mums and grands, and you kind of just all have to get on with your own lives. But recognising something in someone that was deep was a brilliant thing then, because then potentially you've saved somebody there.
Absolutely.
Just taking 5 minutes to give them a phone call or a text or a brew and say, "How are you?" You know,
makes all the difference.
Makes a massive difference, doesn't it? Yeah.
And the thing that stuck out for us in particular about the video was just how real it was. You know, just everything that you'd wrote, the performance, just how raw it was, and I think that's why you know, you use the word resonate with. You know, I think that's why it resonated with so many people, and that's why it's done so well. I mean, because, you know, it came from the heart.
Yeah. And it was real. It wasn't a, you know, as mad as it is, a pre-recorded sort of thing or anything. It was a one-take thing that I did. I just pressed play and I just sang and I just went for it.
Came from the soul, man.
Yeah, it came from the soul, and it wasn't to actually necessarily do this. That wasn't my intention. Like, people are using the words like "you're courageous" and "brave," and you know, it seems crazy to think that I'm here today doing an interview over something that, you know, like I was really ashamed of having, but now it's a celebration of it. You know, it was raw, but it was something that just beautiful happened, and that was it. It's one of them things in life. And
you brought your uke in for us.
Yeah, I brought it in.
So you're going to play us a song?
I'll give you a tune, yeah. We'll see if we can get a tune out of it.
Well, James, you know, absolute pleasure having you in the studio, mate. Really, really inspiring.
And you, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So yeah, stay with us. Coming up after the break, we're going to hear from James himself, and we're going to hear that Neil Young classic. Stay with us. James, welcome back.
Thank you.
So you got the uke in hand?
Yeah, we've got it all ready, primed and ready to go.
So this is the song that's brought you quite the level of fame at the moment.
This was the one.
So do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, so it's Hey Hey My My by Neil Young. All right, thank you. my oh my. And rock and roll will never die. It's more than a picture that meets the eye. Said hey, hey, my oh my. You're out of the blue and into the black. You pay for this, they give you that. And once you come, you can't come back. You're out of the blue and into the black. Said hey, hey, my oh my. And rock and roll will never die. There's more than a picture that meets the eye. Said hey, hey, my oh my. The king is gone but not forgotten. Is this the tale of Johnny Rotten? It's better to burn out than fade away. The king is gone but not forgotten. Said hey, hey, my oh my. And rock and roll will never die. There's more than a picture that meets the eye. Said hey, hey, my oh my. Said hey, hey, my oh my.
Woo!
Thank you.
When you wake up,
we are 103.6 FM Tameside Radio with an 8:33. Where am I? Hang on, no, right, it's 7:30, so that means a 7:33.
Do we need to get the training clock out again, Steve?
Yeah, I don't know why, it's a digital clock as well, yeah.
when you get to work,
There's still music in this hour from Rita Ora. Gonna get some Queen on, as well as some Calvin Harris and Sam Smith. So fair to say, quite the eclectic mix.
and when you drive home.
And did you have a crack of our 315 TV theme today? Bit of an easy one. It was on Channel 4 here in the UK. It was on NBC in America.
Tameside Radio is all you need.
It helps me through the day.
To get through the day.
Keeps me entertained. Definitely the number one station.
Tameside Radio.